FM 101.1. And he's Milt Lady, White Township Manager. Good morning.
Good morning, Todd.
It's good to have you with us here today in this lovely festive season of the year. And
blustery, snowy.
Yeah.
That time of year.
White Township, of course, along with PennDOT and every other municipality. Just as I say that, the snow starts to really fall, Milt. How about that?
Our drivers are in the garage. They're looking out the doors, waiting to see what's going on.
Well, I was going to ask you, the guys all hepped up to get out there on the roads?
Yeah, we were out Sunday morning because there were some areas of the township that had some light snow on out by where I live. There was a coating of snow and got a little dicey. So. Yeah. They've already been out once.
When you look at the weather forecast, and it becomes a bit of a science, doesn't it? Because you can tell, okay, now I can pre-treat the roads. If I pre-treat them in some other type of winter condition, it probably isn't going to do any good, so we don't pre-treat them. You really have to cook up some chemistry there, don't you?
Yeah, they try to get ahead of it, but and then it gets to a point where you just got to wait till it kind of takes its course, too, and there's no use putting it down and then plowing it back off. So they try to get out early and before the roads get icy. And, it's a little bit of a science. My road foreman does a really good job. He's been there 37 years.
Oh, yeah, who's that?
Tim Willis.
Way to go, Tim. Nice job.
Yes, he does a very nice job.
Terrific. All right, so let's get on to some things. Speaking of the winter season, you're asking the public to be aware of the snow plows and to give them some room, huh?
Yes, give them room to work. Obviously, if it's a heavy snow and it's coming off those plows, their vision can sometimes be impaired. The mirrors get coated, and it's just, please give them room so that they can do their job and get the roads clear for you.
Yeah, and certainly be understanding as well along the sides of the roads, especially if you park your car. I would guess for plow drivers, they have to be really vigilant. People parking their cars along the side of the road and oh boy, here comes a snowplow, and they have to be sure they get around that thing. Yeah,
there's some streets in the township that are pretty narrow, and it takes some maneuvering to get in and out around those parked cars. So, certainly it helps if you can keep your cars off the street to allow them to do their job, because then if we don't get that snow cleared off, it ices up and causes issues then when the car isn't parked there, and people are driving down that street. It presents an obstacle to their driving.
Let's visit a couple of other spots within White Township. The dog park.
Well, it's unofficially open.
Unofficially.
We don't really have the signs up like we like them to be. They're in production. So we're just asking people to use common sense, be courteous, and keep your dogs under control, clean up after them, and just use common sense at the dog park until our signs are up.
Yeah. And I think people, to understand the dog park rules, of course, the dog park doesn't mean, hey, dogs get to run free, which means they get to leave their piles there. Make sure you dispose of them properly.
Yes, we have trash receptacles there specifically for the dogs. There's bags provided, so we ask that you clean up and make sure your dog is a friendly dog and not out of control when he's there. We had a couple deer visiting the park the other day.
Yeah? So, on a leash?
No, they were loose.
They were not on a leash, huh?
They jumped in. I guess they felt they were secure in there.
Yeah, they probably didn't clean up after themselves either.
Probably not.
You even have a fire hydrant there?
We do. A nice red, looks almost brand new. Our guys cleaned it all up. It was donated to us. So we painted it all up and got it. We got two more coming. So.
Oh, yeah. Not functional, boys and girls. Yeah. Not functional.
Well, it depends who you talk to.
It depends on what the function is.
Yeah, the dogs maybe think it's functional.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so the dog park, and of course, come springtime, those signs will be up, and folks will really be able to enjoy it.
Yeah, well, we hope to have the signs up here in the next few weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, it'll be open all winter.
Yeah, wonderful. All right. This is a project we haven't spoken of a lot recently, the Hulubug extension. What's going on with that?
Well, we had started work there at Rose Street. We own some property. Some people may remember the old Brodsky property. South 13th Street, before Rose Street was built, I actually did a little dog leg across the railroad tracks and then made a 90-degree turn to go out to Wayne Avenue.
Yeah.
Well, they rerouted that, straightened it out, but we still owned the old road that went across the railroad tracks. So we're taking out that bank, making that slope ADA approved, and we're going to run the trail across Rose Street, go up onto our property, cross over the railroad tracks, back onto South 13th Street for about 100 yards to where it meets up with the IUP walkway that goes up towards the tennis courts.
Yeah.
So we've done some construction work there, working with PennDOT to finalize the permit there. But the asphalt plants have closed, so we didn't quite get where we wanted to be to finish that out before winter. So it's on hold as far as finishing that up.
Yeah.
Hopefully by spring, when the plants open up, we'll be able to pave that.
And then eventually, maybe a couple of years down the road, who knows, you'd like to get that thing, the whole multimodal thing happening through Indiana Borough and then back into White Township out toward the recreation complex.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, that's the goal, is to get the final end point towards the rec complex. And then obviously we're looking to get spurs that would come off that main, going to the KCAC, different points of interest as that trail comes to fruitivity.
Yeah. All right. Now, speaking of the White Township Recreation Complex, a police report today, somebody got into the locker room at the S&T Bank Arena and stole a bunch of things from people's personal property and then went out to their cars. Evidently, they got some car keys, too, and went out to their cars and stole some things. Just a reminder to folks who use the S&T Bank Arena, make sure everything is secured when you get there, right?
Yes. Unfortunately, sometimes the hockey teams get a little comfortable and maybe don't lock the locker rooms like they should. And, unfortunately, there's some bad people out there, and they found a way to get in and took some of the keys and cash. They just took cash. And then once they broke into the vehicles, they just left the keys laying on the ground. So,
Oh, yeah.
It's unfortunate. We do have video, so the state police will be looking at that.
Yeah.
Trying to ID the person.
And the bottom line is it's a very secure facility.
It is.
And people just need to be, no matter where they are, whether they're there or out shopping somewhere or in their homes, they need to be sure that everything is secure.
That's correct.
All right. Planning Commission is meeting tonight.
It is. We have two items on the agenda. The Pennsylvania State Police is looking to build a new building, a new station. The developer has purchased property across from where the police station is now, on the other side of 286.
Oh, yeah?
So that property will be developed. We hope to have final site plan approved tonight, and we expect construction to start very soon.
That's interesting because I think initially they were looking at the Windy Ridge Park, and so they've decided to go across the road instead.
That's correct. Yes, they've had a couple. They had a couple different sites in mind, but this is the one they've made the final decision on.
Okay, and then the new auto parts store.
Yes, a new AutoZone will be coming in at the corner of Oakland and Lilac. We're looking also to have final site plan approval for that tonight. That will be right next to the Sherwin-Williams, but it's a totally different development from that parcel.
I think I'm contractually required to ask you about across from Aldi's and what's going on there, and I'm going to get the same answer that I've been getting from you.
You and everybody else.
Yes, the same answer, isn't it?
I don't know what to tell people. It's the developers paid all the fees. It's approved. They got building plans. They've got the permits. They're all paid for. It's up to them to break ground and move forward.
And get moving forward with it. Well, we'll continue to watch that and see if if anything ever happens with it.
I don't know.
It's one of those odd months when the calendar works out so that the supervisors met last week, Planning Commission this week, supervisors next week again.
Yeah, because of the Christmas week, typically in December, we move the supervisor meetings from the second and fourth Wednesday to the first and third Wednesdays in December. So our supervisor meeting will be next week.
Yeah.
And the budget is on display currently at the municipal office. I expect it to be approved at the next meeting, and we're happy to say that there's no tax increases for the township residents. So I think they'll be happy to hear that.
How many years? Do you know offhand?
I think they had one back in the 70s.
In the 1970s.
Yes, but it was not short-lived. It didn't last very long.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we've been very fortunate. Good operations and just good fiscal management.
Mm-hmm. All right. Milt Lady is with us, White Township Manager, looking at things happening all across the township. It's such a big job. It's the largest municipality in Indiana County, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
By far.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of different facilities. You're looking underneath the roadways. You're looking at storm systems, storm source systems, and all of that. And the winter season has come on. Everything is all shored up in time for that. And then we'll get back in the spring and see what the winter did to them.
We will. We have a lot of projects on the books for next year. A lot of sewer system upgrades. Hopefully, we'll keep moving forward on the sewer extension project out in the Airport Road area.
Yeah.
I know there's some potential development ideas out there, so we'd like to get that project on the books and get the bids out and start construction in 2019.
With that Jimmy Stewart Airport out there, that becomes very, very important and really an exciting development with the runway extension, the brand new runway, the ability to land bigger planes there. And with the cracker plant coming in, who knows if that doesn't then generate some more industrial activity, manufacturing activity here in Indiana County.
That's correct. We're hoping that we can match the infrastructure for those developments.
Milt, thanks so much for being with us today. Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, Todd. We wish everybody a Merry Christmas from the White Township staff.